So you're looking for a home upgrade that's going to give you a huge impact, but without totally breaking the bank? Well, a brand new laminate floor might be exactly what you're looking for. In this explainer, we are going to break down how you can completely transform a room and get this all in a single weekend.
And hey, you don't have to just take my word for it. Listen to flooring contractor James Miller. He says, the room went from drab to fab in a single weekend. That's what we're talking about. It's a project that delivers that instant wow factor. And it is absolutely achievable, even if you're a first-timer.
And here is the real secret, the main takeaway. You can totally do this yourself. The key to a flawless, professional-looking floor isn't some kind of magic skill. Nope. As you see here, it is all about the preparation you do before you even think about laying down that first plank.
Okay, so first things first. Before you even buy a single box of flooring, you've got one big decision to make. How are you going to install it? Trust me, getting this choice right from the very beginning is going to make the entire project so much smoother.
So basically, it comes down to these two main choices. On one side, you've got click lock, which is also called a floating floor. This method is super clean, it's fast, and it's really forgiving for beginners. On the other side, you've got the glue down method. Now this gives you rock solid stability, but it's also a lot more permanent and, frankly, a lot more work.
So what's the verdict? Look, for the vast majority of us doing a project at home, ClickLock is the clear winner, hands down. It's just so quick, it's clean, it's forgiving, and it was pretty much designed with the DIYer in mind. All right, we've got our method chosen. Now we get to the most critical phase of this whole thing, the prep work. And I'm serious, do not rush this part. Every minute you spend here is going to pay off big time in the final result. First up, let's get our gear together. Think of this as your mission checklist. Yeah, you need the basics, like a tape measure and a good level. But the real game changers, the things that will make you feel like a pro, are these specialized tools. A tapping block, a pull bar, and spacers. Trust me, they make the job infinitely easier. Now here is a pro tip you absolutely cannot skip. You have to let your flooring planks acclimate. All you do is bring the boxes into the room and just let them sit there for at least 48 hours before you install them. This lets the wood adjust to your home's unique temperature and humidity, and that is what prevents ugly warping or buckling down the line. Okay, let's talk about the foundation. Because your beautiful new floor is only ever going to be as good as the subfloor it's sitting on. That subfloor has to be three things: perfectly clean, completely dry, and this is the big one, it's gotta be level. So how level is level? Well, here's the number to remember. You can't have any dips or bumps bigger than 3 millimeters. That's about 1/8 of an inch over a 1 meter or roughly 3-foot span. Grab a long level and just meticulously check this across the entire room. And with all that important prep work done, it's finally time for the fun part. Actually, laying the planks. This is where you really get to see the room transform, right before your eyes. Now, listen up because this is huge. That very first row you lay down is everything. If that row is even the tiniest bit crooked, that mistake is just going to get bigger and bigger with every single row you add. So please, take your time here. Get this one perfect. The actual process is a really simple 4-step rhythm. First, you roll out your underlayment. Second, you lay that all-important first row with the tongue side facing the wall. Third, you pop in those 1/4-inch spacers against the wall. We'll talk about why in a bit. And finally, it's just a satisfying click, lock, and a gentle tap to set each plank in place. And here is another crucial technique. You never want to line up the seams from one row to the next. You need to stagger those end joints by at least 12 inches. Now, this isn't just to make it look more like a natural wood floor. It's absolutely essential for the structural strength of the whole floor. Of course, rooms are never just perfect empty squares, right? So what happens when you get to a doorway or a pipe or some other tricky obstacle? Well, this is where a little bit of finesse comes into play. As you can see, your jigsaw is going to be your best friend for making any of those custom cuts. And remember that pull bar? You'll use that to get the very last plank in each row nice and tight. For that final row against the far wall, you'll almost certainly need to cut it lengthwise to fit. Just always remember to keep that 1/4-inch gap around all the edges. The floor is down. Awesome. But we're not quite done yet. These next few finishing touches, this is what separates a pretty good DIY job from a great one. First up, go around and pull out all of those little spacers you put in. Now it's time to cover up that expansion gap with trim.
You can either put your original baseboards back on, or you can add new quarter-round molding for a really clean, seamless finish. And if you want a technique that just screams professional, this is it. It's called undercutting. So instead of trying to awkwardly cut a plank to fit around a door frame, you actually cut the frame itself. You use a special flush-cut saw to trim the bottom, which lets the flooring slide perfectly underneath. It looks amazing. You've done all the hard work, and your floor looks absolutely incredible. So now, let's talk about how to keep it that way. Just a few simple habits will make sure your new floor lasts for years and years. This little schedule makes it super simple. A quick daily sweep stops dirt from scratching the surface. A weekly damp mop, and I mean damp, not soaking wet, keeps it clean. And then just a quick check once a year, especially in your windows or sinks, helps you catch any potential issues early.
And remember, how long your floor lasts really starts with the product you buy. Laminate has something called an AC rating, which is all about durability. As you can see, an AC3 is great for a living room. But for a place that gets a lot more traffic, like a kitchen, stepping up to an AC4 is totally worth it and will add years to the life of your floor.
So that's really the whole formula. It's not magic, right? It's just solid preparation, using the right technique, and a little bit of consistent care. You get those 3 things right, and I promise, you'll have a beautiful floor that you're gonna love for a long, long time. So there you have it. You've just taken what seems like this really huge, complex project and broken it down into simple, totally manageable steps. You've got the knowledge now, you've got the skills. So the only real question left is, what room are you going to transform next?